Hi, I am Paco de Leon, and I am here to reluctantly talk about my magic number.
And what is that magic number?
$6 million.
Oh, for you or for your whole family?
For my whole family.
If you're comfortable, how much do you have saved right now, or roughly what percentage of the way are you?
Oh, we're a fraction of the way there.
Noted. Okay, tell us about the life that you want to live in retirement.
I don't know that I necessarily want to be tied down anywhere. I want to have flexibility. I want to be able to travel comfortably, and if I'm in an old body, then it will need to be comfortable. I assume, because my knees are already not that great.
Do you want to have a home base in California? Would you like to move to Europe? What are you thinking?
I would like to spend half the time in California and half the time in Europe.
How do you plan on spending your days of infinite leisure?
I would probably tinker and make music, and I would probably just be available to people in my life and my community, and whatever that looks like, whether it's eating ice cream together or baking them a sourdough bread. I'd really just want to chill and bring good vibes to the universe, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Do you have any debt that could delay retirement?
Yeah, so I have some debt in my business. I don't see it running rampantly out of control because it's a good business for now. But my deep existential fear is that the business that I'm running right now, the thing that I've been putting a lot of time into and on paper is a significant portion of my net worth. It's like I'm selling the buggy whips. Nobody uses a buggy anymore, right? You saw where that went. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who has this existential dread, but it feels very acute for me because I know that the business that I'm running is very susceptible to automation.
Are you investing in an IRA or a 401k?
Yes, I have a 401k with one of my loan outs, one of my S-Corps, and full disclosure, 6 months ago I got recruited by a tech company and I'm participating in their 401k. And then with the salary, I also put away 15%.
With the brokerage account, are you putting these into ETFs or are you picking stocks like you pick horses?
ETFs. I have no interest in spending any time at all looking at a public company's financials to figure out if they're undervalued and I can make a bunch of money. Ugh, so boring.
What is your biggest financial fear about retirement?
Probably everyone's, that you won't be able to do it, although retirement does feel like maybe a relatively new concept. Yeah, I guess that would be my biggest fear, that I'll never be able to retire and then I have to work my old little body until the day I die. Pretty casual stuff.
What is one thing that you refuse to give up, even if it means you have to work longer?
We started going to the bougiest butcher. It is so expensive. What really prompted that was we spent a month in Spain last fall, and when we came back, the gnarliest things were being recalled. Carrots were being recalled and cucumbers were being recalled. And so my conclusion is we're reaching the limits of the agricultural industrial complex, and so maybe the super bougie whole chicken is the one thing I won't give up.
And is that bougie butcher McCall's?
It sure is.
Got her! I got her! How did you come up with your magic number?
So the general rule of thumb in personal finance is for every $1 million that you have, you can guarantee spend a certain percentage amount. So it's either 4 or 5%. So for every $1 million that you have invested, you can safely draw income of $40,000 a year. I'm not gonna survive on $40,000 a year. And so that calculation came from, okay, well, what if we wanted to live a very comfortable, lovely retirement life? Probably $6 million drawing $240,000 a year is probably fine. Although, who knows what the price of a cheeseburger is gonna be in 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how much are you calculating inflation into that magic number?
I'm not necessarily calculating inflation into that magic number, if I'm being honest. So thanks for bringing that up, and maybe my number is 9 million.
How much do you need to be contributing to your accounts on an annual basis to get to $6 million?
I'm actually playing a different game. I'm playing the game of the value you could sell the business for.
For people to think about at home, there is my personal investments, and then there is growing a business that I could potentially sell.
And both. You could do both at the same time, which is what I'm doing.
What age do you want to retire?
Yesterday. But realistically, I don't think I would be filled with despair if I just retired at regular retirement age, actually. And that's a new realization that I've had.
If you had to retire today with your current savings, how long do you think you could survive?
Probably like 6 years.
Do you have a retirement plan, or are you just winging it?
So like I'm doing things to actively have future money for future Paco, but we're living in like really uncertain times. The thing that I mentioned earlier, where it's like the thing that I think I'm gonna hang my hat on, I actually don't know if it's going to just like evaporate. I'm gonna wake up one morning and they're gonna be like, guess what? Nobody thinks it's worth paying a person to do that anymore.
What is the biggest mistake you've made or almost made when it comes to saving for retirement?
Oh my God, how much time do you have? I didn't start soon enough. When I worked at the bank when I was like 19, I had a 401k. It was not a lot, a couple $100, but I cashed it out, didn't leave it there. I never negotiated salary until this last job that I got. Never, just accepted the default. I feel like I waited a while to start my own 401k plan with my company. I mean, at the end of the day, the real lever that took me a long time to figure out how to crank was earning. And I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Do you trust Social Security will be there for you when you retire?
Absolutely not.
Great, next question. What's your worst impulse purchase that you made that could have gone into your retirement fund?
So many. The guy from Tame Impala created like a musical instrument called the Orchid. It's like a synthesizer that allows you to like ideate on chord progressions. And the tactics, they were brilliant because they were like, we're releasing 1,000 only. You know, on this day at this time, we're releasing 1,000. And then I got one, and before I knew it, I was excitedly spending like $600 on a thing I don't need, but brings me great joy.
How are you going to celebrate retiring? What's the first thing you're going to do?
I'm going to call you and say, hey, we can delete that video off the internet about my magic number because I hit it. First thing I'm going to do when I hit that retirement number, I'll probably think that I'll be filled with joy and exuberance, and actually I'll have that moment of like, huh, you're still the same person.